Lee begins to write about his new insight and its application to martial art. His writings will fill 7 large volumes. Slowly, Lee begins to battle back. Although the back injury will prove to be a permanent problem, within 6 months, he has proven both the naysayers and the medical community wrong. Not only is he able to kick again, he becomes a better martial artist than he ever was before. Lee's harrowing experience, coupled with his new insight, served to underscore for him the validity of his belief that there is no help but self-help, including help in the form of instruction in the art of unarmed combat. Even his own beloved creation, Jeet Kune Do, by far the most scientific of all martial arts, is not exempt from his solvent analysis. Lee sees his error in the fact that he had been striving to create the ultimate way or style of martial art to teach to his students. First, he thought he had it with the Chinese way of martial art. Then, more recently, in his newly created Way of the Intercepting Fist. But Lee has now come to see that the ultimate truth does not reside in ways or styles, but within the soul of each individual.
I do not believe in styles anymore. I mean, I do not believe that there is such thing as like Chinese way of fighting or the Japanese way of fighting or whatever way of fighting, because unless human beings have 3 arms and 4 legs, we will have a different form of fighting. But basically, we have only 2 hands and 2 feet. So styles tends to not only separate men, you know, because they have their own doctrines, and then the doctrine became the gospel truth, you know, that you cannot change, you know. But if you do not have styles, if you just say, well, here I am, you know, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely?
Then it's just 2 people who are being aware of their own movements, who are observing the other person's movements and being able to fit in with that person's movements so that there's no set pattern of movements, no, well, when he does this, then I do this. It's just a total freedom to react to what the other person does. In fact, Bruce inscribes it perfectly on the back of this medallion, where he wrote the words that have become his motto. And it says, using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation. Over the years, this phrase has been somewhat misinterpreted, and people think of using no way as way to mean anything I do is okay, and anything I do is my way. I don't think Bruce really intended it to mean that way. He just meant not to be boxed in by a certain way, so that you never get into a situation where there's only one response. You adapt to what the situation calls for. I think Bruce had that down pretty well.
When there's a way, then there lies the limitation.
To me, okay, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky, and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, now that, my friend, is very hard to do.
That's the whole key right there. You know, do you know yourself? Do you know your skills? Do you know your weaknesses? Are you able to adjust your life to compensate for whatever's happening and take advantage of whatever's happening in terms of pluses and minuses? That was his approach, and he was an incredible example of that. You know, a walking model of that.